before we pick up with the main events of tonight's game, we hop back to a week or day in early October, when Mortimer has a few questions for one of the society's maids. Ignatius's rival slash I'm not sure what the word is for the tensions between adversary, yes. Elsie's friend and Ignatius's nemesis, Agnes Burton.
Is this an afternoon, evening? Well, it could be any time, really.
Your choice.
In the time
choice of time and day and location where you would like to talk to her.
Well, it'll be somewhere in the society anyway. Good afternoon, Agnes. Is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions about something?
She sets down like the mop bucket that she was using to clean the floor. Of course, sir. No
it looks like I'll be heading to the Severn Valley again in the near future. And I was wondering if you knew anything about one of the towns. It's near to Goatswood, actually, but not Goatswood, obviously. I'm avoiding that place for reasons, as we both know.
Yeah, where are you headed to?
Richester.
Richester.
Richester. Something about a maze.
I've been there.
There's some stories, something to do with a maze.
It's a bit bigger than Goatswood. Folk there think they're all like, proper cosmopolitan big city types, even though could fit, I think, all of Brichester into like 3 streets around here. It's not exactly a heaving place. So that's including Lower Brichester and Mercy Hill as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's the lake.
Look down on us folk from Goatswood.
But, you don't happen to know any strange stories or superstitions about that town by any chance?
I mean, what you're counting is strange here, because the more I speak to people who aren't from around those parts, the more I know that everything around those parts is strange.
Well, in Goatswood, they revered was it the Mother of Monsters or something? I can't remember. They revered something like a nature.
The old gods. The gods of the woods, and the gods of the forest, and the gods of the land, yeah.
Yes.
The gods beyond.
Do they do a similar thing in that town?
Some folk do. I mean, Brichester has more outsiders than most of the place around there. Like, people have moved there. It's got, proper shops and library and all that. And,
so it's a little bit larger, so it's more a town, really.
Yeah, it's a proper town.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was just wondering whether you'd heard any unusual stories about a maze beneath the town. A maze?
I mean...
There's meant to be an entrance beneath one of the inns, but I don't know.
I don't know about any inns or any... Look, I don't know about any inns or, like, anything about Brichester specifically. The only story I know about a maze is the... my mother used to tell it. The story of an evil man who did things he should not have done. Gets trapped in a maze. You know that one?
I don't actually.
How does it go?
The only maze story I know.
Once a corrupt and wicked man, drawn to all sorts of how did my mother phrase it? Depraved things. Indulged in all the vices known to man. He drank, he gambled, he took substances he didn't ought to, spent all his money on women and vice.
I know the sort.
Yeah, we all do. Anyway, he went beyond that into all manner of horrible things. My mother never really specified all of the details, story, but he gathered quite what's the word? I suppose. Yes, a group of followers that joined him in secret ritual. Cult, I suppose you could call them. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
They had rituals. They had a secret. Anyway, they had this secret meeting place and a secret library of forbidden texts, all the most evil things he could gather together.
That sounds
And
interesting.
the story goes is he built a maze around it to stop folk from just wandering in.
So there could be a library in this maze if it's the one in the stories.
Anyway, yeah, that's the story goes. But the story is that he had one book amongst all the others that was this forbidden book with the names of the gods in it, like true names of all the gods.
Yeah, or things that we know of but we shouldn't know.
One day he read one of those names. He spoke it aloud and called upon the god itself. And the god came, and he transformed the man into a vision of himself, a twisted mockery of a man. And then
he became on the outside what he was on the inside, more or less.
The way my mother told it was more he became a vision of the god itself. Devoured his followers, most of them. One of them must have got away, because the way the story ends... Yeah, the way the story ends is that they brick up the entrance, they seal up the maze, and they say that the people above could still hear him endlessly walking the passages of that maze, transformed into a monstrosity forevermore. Still roaming in the dark.
Yeah, that could be what we're after.
I mean, I heard it's a well-known story around those parts, so I heard it around Ghostwood and Brichester, so...
Unfortunately, it's likely some truth in these stories, as we know. But then again, only some. But anyway, that's the sort of information I was looking for, is just about any strange superstitions about a maze in that area.
Well, that's the only story I know, really. I mean, whenever we went to Brichester, we used to stay at the Horned Man. That was the inn, but Mum just thought the name was lucky.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's a strange coincidence. But, well, thank you for your time anyway and the information.
Alright.
I should be going.
Glad to be of service, sir.
No problem. Keeper, before I go as such, leave the house, I'll probably leave a letter with James to be read if I don't actually return. You know, a safety precaution.
Yes, I always worked on the assumption that surely each one of you has a nice will locked away in a safe just in case you don't come back from any particular activity.
Something along those lines. That's a safe assumption, so yes. He's updated it, more or less. He's just replaced it with a new one.
Alright. So, a couple of weeks after Mortimer spoke to Agnes, the members of the society have gathered up, collected D'Angelo from wherever he was having a nice, peaceful, uninterrupted, uneldritch experience, and are en route to the Severn Valley. We pick up with them in the compartment of a steam train, the 5 of them, I can't count. The 5 of them sat together. John has healed up from his wounds. Ignatius looks, I think, they're still a little beaten up.
Yes, it's you can tell he's only wearing 3 capes as opposed to the normal 7, and it's hard for him to breathe. So he is strangely quiet while he's basically since the conversation he had with the Pharaoh and making up with Agnes.
Yes. So the train has passed through Exham and is currently winding its way through the Goat's Wood. Dark trees on either side of the line as you pass through this thickly wooded area of the countryside. There's not much sign of farming or human habitation, just dense looming vegetation on either side of the tracks. It shouldn't be too long before you pass through Ghostwood and from there on to Brichester. If there are any matters to discuss before your arrival in the town, now is your chance.
Do we happen to see the strange contraption in the middle of Goatswood?
For now, you're looking at Goatswood itself, as in the wood that is.
Wood, right.
So I guess we should call this, for clarity, Goatswood wood.
Yes, the wood that is Goatswood. It's okay.
Well, someone explain to me what it is that we're doing in this unique location.
I have you. D'Angelo, so what happened was, first off, we've concluded that Maximilian is a pimp. We should never lose sight of that. But most importantly, I was struggling, and I went to sleep, and I challenged the god again after talking with Abner and not figuring out what was happening. Right. So then I baited it and got it to give me a challenge so I could live and not live tormented forever. But there was a deal where we might have signed up, all of us. I don't know if it was you or not. I kind of forgot because of the crippling pain. That if we fail, that we die. So there's that. Yeah. So we have to go to this maze and beat the maze, or we all die.
I think there was a bit more to it.
I'm really, really drunk because of the pain. So proceed, Mr. Greaves, battle librarian.
Well, I mean, the maze in itself may be somewhat challenging, but I think we may discover something in the maze that will be even more so. And I think that was part of the challenge.
Yeah, I asked Agnes if she had heard any stories about this maze, and she mentioned she'd been told a story when she was young by her mum regards a maze where an evil man he had a bit of a cult and some followers, and he found a book, or had a book with the names of these old gods, and he mentioned one, and he spoke it aloud, and the god somehow, well, possessed him, I suppose, and then he ate all his followers, and he was bricked up in this maze. They trapped it in the maze. In the middle of this maze is his library with his forbidden book in it, apparently, and they've bricked up all the entrances, and apparently he still wanders hungering around that maze. At least that's superstition, and I think the information you found in that book related to a minor god or something wandering around that maze. So if that could be this creature.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Very similar to the Minotaur story, but who knows? Maybe that's where the story came from.
Oh, you have... I'm not sure I understand. Why exactly did you request my assistance for such a task?
Because you're a fucking genius, because you're level-headed, because you're talented, because you are smart and dumb enough to help us.
Well, it'll be giving you an interesting book if we survive.
Well, my thought was more like, you're the only one of us that is not part of the bet. And so if we fail, you're the most likely to know what was going on afterwards.
There is that. Besides, you had to come along, you'd be bored otherwise. I'm sure. What else would you be doing today?
I'm sure you had nothing else planned.
As interesting in this company as you all are, I assure you some time of boredom would be quite preferable to continuous chaos, but I will assist you in whatever ways I'm capable of.
D'Angelo? Are you a hugger?
No, I am not.
You can see like the strain of pain, like when I put my arms out. I'm like, come on, D'Angelo. I'm wearing my best capes. I've turned a new leaf.
Put your Please put your arms down, Mr. Ignatius.
I actually
You
can't
should
right
be at
now.
your...
I won't hug you, but this is gonna be a process.
There you
Oh
go.
God! Oh, thank you. Oh, I peed a little, but it's okay.
You should rest so that you are at your best for what is to come.
I'm at my best when I'm at my worst.
Well, then we should be fine, right?
Fair, hurtful, but fair.
We should have started 2 weeks ago, though, then.
Yeah.
So the entrance is meant to be hidden beneath an inn or something like that. I suspect there's probably a few different entrances, but I'm sure once we arrive, we can book ourselves into an inn and find out any gossip we know, any stories. It seems it's a reasonable sized town, so we shouldn't stand too much out.
Well, does it have a sewer system? Do we know? Because that's subterranean maze is the first thing I would think of is one of those fancy...
Yeah, I suspect it's not that big, to be fair. Not big enough to have that sort of system, but we can find out when we get there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can arrive, we can relax a bit. I mean, we've got some leeway with time. I think the challenge was we had to walk this maze, but I don't know what we've got to do, other than perhaps maybe go in, get this forbidden book and out again. Who knows? The problem we'll have is navigating in the dark, so since our supplies, I suspect Keeper, we've probably packed extra lanterns and things like that, and candles to bring.
That is a perfectly reasonable thing to have brought whilst navigating a dark underground maze.
I mean, it makes more sense than the last time I went into the Paris catacombs with a single candle. No, it's a lighter. We didn't even have a candle.
But that was more of a on the spur of the moment choice.
It was. I mean, we survived.
Yeah. So the train slows to a halt at the station of Goatswood. Nobody gets off. You just do see a couple of people climb onto the train, and a couple of locals heading into Bridchester. The train doesn't stop long and soon rattles on its way, heading out of the dark woods into open countryside as it heads towards the River Cam.
I just want to say this. I appreciate all of you helping me. And he starts like blinking. He's like, "Yep, that's all I got. I thought I had written up a better speech than that to be gracious and magnanimous. It's as far as I got." And he crinkles up a piece of paper and he says, "Thank you for putting up with me." And then I'm gonna nod off to sleep and just try to get some normal sleep, not pharaoh sleep, normal sleep.
Always good to specify whether you want your sleep to be visited by eldritch abominations. Yeah, you're going to try and doze off in the last half an hour or so of your journey as the train rattles its way across the Severn Valley towards the town of Bridchester. You can see scattered villages. Yep.
Have I by chance heard of this place before with my knowledge of
You definitely heard of it. Give me an occult roll to see if you know any more than
good at this.
beyond the ordinary.
I think that this exists.
Sorry, I have too many tabs open. Yes, that is indeed a success. So yeah, you know that this is an area that is a hotbed of occultist interest. This is it's full of stories of local cults and strange beliefs, and for every village and town in this place there is some strange story about what the locals have been up to or what the locals believe in. As you're passing by, you can see off in the distance, a rock formation sort of to the north of Brichester, where just this rock rises up, and you recognise that from your readings to be the Devil's Steps, where a giant staircase built up from the earth onto a plateau above the town, which no one knows who built it or what it was built for. Some people, the locals seem to have some reverence for it. You've heard tale of the moon lens of Goatswood, this strange device that sits in the middle of the town, or village really, of Goatswood, encircled by the dark forest, where the locals are strange and hunched and have belief in the gods of the forest, and a distinctly off-putting appearance. Someone calls them, like, not quite fully human. Various occultists have gone to the Severn Valley to try and study and learn more of the local cults and local customs. Many have not returned. It seems that they've either disappeared mysteriously or have gone native and never left again. Strange place, a place of ill repute.
Wonderful.
Was there anything that specifically you wanted to know?
No, that was fine. That was wonderful. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. What a lovely part of the countryside. I mean, the
Just
countryside
your hunting,
itself
right?
is quite nice. The autumn, you can see the autumn fields, bare branch trees, you rolling in towards the primarily brick-built town of Brichester. This clutter of tightly built houses around the central square, at the end of the train line. Like, from the outside, this could be almost any part of the English countryside. Fields and hedgerows, scattered farms, little towns and villages. There is something that hangs over it, and as you pull into the station, you notice that the way that the locals seem to watch everyone getting off the train, there's an air that outsiders are not exactly common here, and not entirely welcome. Welcome to Brichester.
What a lovely town.
Yeah. Let's go find a place to rest our heads in the night.
Yeah, but, well, I wonder. We'll have to see what sort of inns are available. There'll be somewhere here, someone based here at the station. We could probably ask them for information about any inns they'd recommend.
Yeah, you want to speak to someone at the station?
Yep. Who wants to? It'd be a bit strange, all of us going up to them. So, anyone want to?
Sure, I can do that. I can get ourselves
Just grab like a station attendant or something.
Is that what you're after
Well-
then? A station attendant?
Sure. I'm just gonna move up.
So, yeah, you see a man in train company uniform. He's got a smart jacket and a little hat. Probably old, probably approaching. He must be at least 60. But he's there, sort of helping bags off the train, greeting people as though he knows quite a lot of the people getting off the train. Oh, good to see you back in town again. Oh, sir, can I help you, sir?
Yeah, well, good evening. What's the time? No matter.
Looks to be about 6:30 in the afternoon local time.
I think good evening suffices then, I assume.
Yeah. I'm not sure our clocks quite set to London's time at the moment, but
I mean, do we need the clock? As long as the trains don't collide, we're fine, right?
end of the line. Things come when they come, and things go when they go.
Right. You wouldn't perchance have a recommendation for an inn in here?
Depends, are you stopping long or just a night or two?
But potentially a week, maybe, depending on how long our hunting trip goes.
Hunting? No. If you're after a week, then the Devil's Steps has good rooms. Although Owen Man's quite popular with locals in town for a night or two. I think what do you call it? No, they've stopped doing rooms there. Yeah, the Lakeview, they've still got rooms, yeah.
I mean, Lakeview sounds awesome. Especially for what we are here for.
Well, they say Lakeview. You can just about make out the lake in the distance. It's actually quite a long way to the lake, but
yeah, we have legs onto the floor to the floor, right? It's fine. We can walk that. But yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, have a nice evening.
You too, sir. You too.
And I'll go back to the others and tell them about those inns.
There seems to be quite a choice here.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys think is the one with the, well, additional amenities?
There are some of those names are a bit strange. I mean, the Devil's Steps, of course. Then there's, I think Agnes mentioned one about the Goat Man or something along those lines. But either one we can stop at. We just need somewhere to lay our heads and our bags. I mean, the Lakeview seems the most innocent of them. I mean, we can always visit the others. We don't have to be stopping at the others. We can just stop at one and
get a couple drinks.
Yeah, and settle from there.
Are they very far away? I mean, can we tell? Or, I mean, is there a cab that we can get to them? I mean, I'm just thinking of Ignatius.
Yeah, the town is small enough that everything is in very easy walking distance. It doesn't seem to be a local, like, hansom cab service. You'd probably have to ask for a lift off one of the locals if you're going further than you want to walk.
Do I see a local that I could... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I mean, there's locals everywhere. You'd estimate that, you know, at least more than half of the people making their way off the train, gathering things, a couple of them loading them onto carts, a couple just heading off walking. Look to know where they're going, look to be either locals or regular visitors.
If I see any locals with like the ability to cart all of us around and with all of our stuff, then I will try to persuade one to do it, to take us to an inn.
You see a woman loading a woman overseeing the loading of a stack of suitcases and boxes from the train onto a cart. Careful with those, you'll crush the hat.
Oh, Marm, might I be of service? Maybe I could help you, if you could help us. I'm a bit injured and I can't really walk too far, but I would love to sit in your cart and ensure that all of your good things are taken care of. Me and my companions. And I'm going to try to persuade her.
This would either be a persuade or a charm. The choice is yours.
I went with persuade.
Yes. You're asking for a lift?
Well, yes. Yes.
Where are you going?
I turn to my companions and I say, which end? Real quick, boys.
The Lakeview.
That one, the Lakeview.
Lakeview. Right. Yeah. Hey, Herbie. We're gonna take these gents to the Lakeview.
Well, thank you so much. And I quickly introduce all of my companions to them as I'm, getting in there.
There's a lot of you, aren't there?
No, as long as you carry this guy, we can probably walk. He's just not the most mobile right now.
I mean, I've only got a few boxes and bundles, so I can squeeze a couple more of you on the cart if needs be.
I get on.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yes. Dr. Greaves and Dr. Davenport, would you like to travel and then...
Oh, I'm quite happy walking, enjoying the fresh air.
Yeah, I'm fine walking too.
I'll go with Mr. Ignatius to make sure he's all right.
Okay, so you hop on the back of the cart. The woman and Herbie get up at the front, and you're sat there next to several boxes and suitcases in the back of this cart. It's a little bit bumpy. It doesn't have the greatest suspension, or really much suspension at all, as it rattles its way along the street from the station towards Lakeview.
Oh, D'Angelo?
Are you all right?
I am too proud to say otherwise. Oh, jeez, the potholes. Oh, God. Thank you,
Road
D'Angelo.
maintenance around here does not seem to be incredibly good. There are potholes big enough you could lose a small child in them.
Oh, God. Oh,
Will be more bearable soon, Mr. Ignatius.
I know.
Just bear with it for now.
I will take it like as best as I can. Thank you so much, D'Angelo. I do have a question for you.
Of course.
Do you how do I say this? Why do you do this?
Do you mean why do I cooperate with our associates, or why do I travel with you all? Just not
Everything. You are. Oh, how do I? This is meant as a compliment, but you are mind-numbingly sane, and almost no one else around us that does this is.
Well, my companionship with the society was, let's say, not always as harmonious as it is now. And you can say I accrued a debt to them a little while ago, and I'm still working to pay it back.
Oh, so it's transactional.
In a way.
That wasn't my read. 'Cause I remember when Augustus talked about you. He didn't think it was transactional. I respect
Suppose everything is
transactions.
transactional, and
Oh, not even I are that jaded. Pish posh,
Alright.
pish posh.
Gents, this is you. Lakeview.
Thank you. I want you to know that you can tell your grandchildren that you carded the great Ignatius. Good gracious, and this man's an author. I can't really rhyme anything with author, so why bother? As close as I could get. Goodbye, and I tip my cape, and I stumble off of the cart, probably onto a pothole, and trip.
Farewell.
thank
She
you
leans
for your
over towards
kindness.
D'Angelo and goes, hope your friend gets better soon.
We are hoping the weather
still
and
struggling.
nature will help him.
They're opening an asylum up at Mercy Hill at some point soon.
I will keep that in mind. And D'Angelo will give them a few
Next to the
dollars.
prison.
I don't know what the... Of course. And he will give them a few dollars. Just thank you.
Shillings, pennies.
Whatever the currency is in the occult village.
It's alright. It's pre-decimalization currency. It is the most occult and horrendous currency you can get.
Just throw teeth at them.
Coins, wooden chips, whatever it may be.
Coins,
Wooden figurines, whatever.
Things.
All right, well, let's get inside. Let you rest for a bit while we wait for the others to arrive.
Thank you. I appreciate your candor, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of you are heading on foot the same route through the town. You leave the station, you see the main square, there's a cluster of shops. A building that claims to be both a library and Brichester University. It doesn't look quite large enough to house both. There is a post office, a town hall that seems to be leaning slightly to one side, and several roads leading off crammed with houses. And north of the town you can see a large bulk of a brick-built building with a high wall around it, with what almost looks like watchtowers on the corners of a little distance to the north of the town. Locals are sort of scurrying about getting on with their business. They do look at you. They turn, they look at you, they don't say anything, but your presence is clearly noted by everyone you pass. Would you like to head straight to the lake view? The old man at the station would have given you directions, or is there anything you want to linger at or look at on the way?
I think it's probably best we head to meet them at the inn, but I mean, we could look at places on the way, so rather than actually enter the places, perhaps just have a glance at some of them. I don't know. The library is going to be of particular interest to our resident librarian.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And actually, would you allow just a general spot hidden roll to see if we notice anything about the buildings we passed, like the main ones? We got the library, post office, town hall, and that high-walled place.
What are you looking for?
Anything that stands out unusual in my case?
You don't. There's not like the whole place is this air, like dark stained brick, sort of gloom. But you see, there's doors you don't know where they lead. There's alleyways between the buildings.
So everything's strange.
Everything's both strange and normal. This is a town. There's a lot going on. I'm going to say essentially, it's not going to give you anything useful.
Well, true, but also being that it's the evening, a lot of these places will be closed anyway, or closing, other than the inns and taverns.
Yeah, the shops seem to be on at the point of shutting up for the day. You can see the shadows are getting darker down the alleys. So the tall brick building is, the large brick building is to the north of the town, sort of slightly. You can't really see it clearly. You can see just over the top of the buildings. It's not directly where you're heading. You're heading more northwestish by the directions the man gave you.
That's it.
If you want to go there and have a look what it is, you can.
You mean in the dark? I think Mortimer's probably interested in just getting to the inn because they'll arrive before us anyway. So we'll just head that way. We can have a look at these places in the morning when it's daylight and there's a lot more people around we can chat to. Perhaps, unless anyone else has any interest in going somewhere now.
Well, I don't think so. We could, take a look on about stuff that's like on the way, not like run or anything. And being polite to the populace because we're in the countryside.
Look as we're going along, but we won't tarry. We need to get to the lakeside.
I'll luxury accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you passed by the main square, several of the shops. There's the normal shops you'd expect to see in a town. There's a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. There's...
Are the shops still open at this point?
They're closing up. You see some of them are already shut, some of them are in the process of being locked up for the night.
If the baker's still open, I'd like to go in and grab a couple of scones.
Yeah. They're a little stale. It's the end of the day, but yeah, you can get a couple of hefty scones. And you see the cart that Ignatius and D'Angelo headed off on, drawn up outside a shop that advertises London fashions and fancies, haberdashery, tailors, dressmakers, millinery, all on top of each other as a sign.
Does it have a sign for capes?
It doesn't specifically advertise that it makes capes.
Hmm.
However, there is nothing about it to indicate that it does not make capes.
Keeper?
Yes?
I feel like I should be able to look at any store and determine the quality of their capes and if they sell capes at all. I feel like we should all...
You did not go via the dressmaker's shop.
I feel like I should
take
sense
you to
it.
her.
I think like I should be able to sense the capes.
Spidey sense.
Do I sense capes?
You sense that somewhere in this town, somebody is wearing a cape.
It
You don't know
was
who,
me.
you don't know where, you don't know how many,
Oh.
but there's someone wearing a cape. And it's not you.
If I was healthier, I would be able to know all of those things.
We shouldn't tell Ignatius about that shop. He's gonna be stuck in there, and we'll lose our bet.
Well, they'll keep him out of trouble. Whilst we actually do the actual hunting and find out the information we're really after.
That's an argument. Let me think about that.
Yes, but as always, we'll make it up as we go along. So, Keeper, what does the lake view look like from the outside?
Ah, yes. Well, now you're all there. You both have seen this building at slightly different points of view. You see, it is a 4-story brick building with almost looks like balconies on the upper floor. The paint is peeling from the wood on those balconies, and there is ivy growing thickly up the side of the building. A faded wooden sign above the door proclaims this to be the Lakeview Public House and Hotel.
Good sign.
The windows look a little grimy. There's not lights in many of them. It sits on the very northern eastern edge of the town. Ignatius and D'Angelo, are you waiting outside for the others, or would you have gone in and arranged rooms ahead of them?
I would have tried to go in and get rooms and get a good deal on them.
Okay. You heading in, you can see there is a man slumped sort of behind the desk. He has a pipe like slowly falling out of his mouth, scattering tobacco ash onto the floor, and his head sort of slumped in a copy of the Brichester Gazette.
Can I do a spot hidden check?
What are you looking for?
Anything that I can use as leverage for our prices. I'm just, looking for anything out of the ordinary that I could use to, leverage.
You can give me a spot hidden, yes.
Hard success.
The place looks like it's falling into disrepair. It looks a little bit dirty. It generally doesn't look very well kept, and if you're leaning out, you can see there's a half-open cupboard on the wall behind the desk with keys to the rooms. And apart from one key, all the keys are hanging up there. So they've got 10 rooms, and currently only one of them has a guest in.
Okay, I'm going to look over at D'Angelo and say, D'Angelo, am I correct to assume everybody would want their own room? There's 5 of us, right?
I would say so, yes.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, good sir. Oh, no, don't be startled. Oh. 5 rooms, please. But since business is so bad, I would like to pay for the price of 3 rooms. And I'm gonna try to, as I'm saying that, like I'm pointing at like this and pointing at that and pointing like I'm trying to shame him and just have him like just go. Since he's startled, I have him off guard.
Yeah. Of course. What was it? How many rooms did you say? 5 rooms or 3
5.
rooms? 5
5.
rooms.
I said 5. I said 5. 2.
5 rooms.
2 plus 3 is 5.
Yes.
3
5
plus
rooms.
2.
5. Yeah, I could do that. He names you a price that is very reasonable. Like he's not overcharging you.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out the money and pay for it, and then I'm gonna lean in. I'm gonna look him dead in the eye, and I'm gonna ask him, "Hey, where's a good place to eat around here?"
Well, we can do dinner for you. Yes.
Absolutely not. No. Where's a good place to eat here? No disrespect. Where would you eat since you live here?
Here. I live here. My wife does the cooking.
That changes absolutely nothing from what I just asked you. If you were going out, where would you eat?
I sometimes eat at my sister's.
I just stare at him. What's 5 times 5? Very good. Come on, D'Angelo. This is. We'll go to a bakery or something. It's 25.
25.
It's 25.
25.
Okay. There's going to be several men coming in here shortly. I described what our compatriots look like. These are the keys for the room. Tell them I'll be in room such and such. Like I'll be in room.
Which rooms do you want? Do you want a lake view?
Which rooms are less likely to get me sick just by being in them?
All our rooms are not going to infect you. There.
You said that was zero confidence.
Forgive my companion. He is a bit
Correct.
tired and experiencing a difficult time. We would prefer 5 of these rooms to be close together, ideally either on the first floor or the second, and with a good view, if possible, of course.
I can get you 3 rooms. 3 rooms with a lake view. The honeymoon suite that also has a lake view. That's just on the floor above, and the royal suite. Only it's never actually been stayed in by royalty. No royalty has ever visited Bridgestone, unfortunately. But if they were to come, that's where they'd stay.
Okay.
Your kindness is impressive. Thank you.
Oh no, it's
do just fine.
wonderful to have so many guests. I'm gonna say, will you be wanting food? Because I'll tell.
No,
Missus to
absolutely
get
not.
some more.
No.
We are honored to be invited, but I think my other companions and I will convene together to decide where we will eat for the evening.
Well,
We do gratefully appreciate the offer.
Yeah. Eddie down at the Dog's Head. She does pies. If you're looking for something to eat in the evening.
To visit.
Anyway, I'm bored. I take the key to the fancy royalty suite and I just head on up.
Yeah. The royal suite is perhaps ambitiously named as you head on up. It has a 4-poster bed. It has a dresser. It has a swathed of slightly dusty curtains. And it does, however, appear to have a view of the lake. The sun is setting, but you can just make out across the fields this dark body of water looming in the distance. Looking at it, it's this the water almost is this inky blackness, and there's an unsettling sense of
okay, it's making me feel
beneath it.
Okay, I want to make a check.
It's also the lake is quite a round sort of lake, almost.
Is it man-made, or is it a
Doesn't look
natural?
man-made.
Okay.
Do you have any skill in natural world, geography, or science-related field?
No. God, no.
It's a lake.
I'm looking. I was trying to see like if I could like look at it, and since it's making me feel bad, things that make me feel bad naturally make me suspicious. So, I was wondering if I could do like I don't know, like a mythos check
I
or
mean,
some type.
it is a lake.
Okay. I go, oh, it's just a creepy, creepy fucking lake. Yeah, much better like if it was filled with alcohol, laudanum, or both. And I just sit down and I wait
Yeah.
for my patriots to arrive.
Yeah. D'Angelo, are you also going up to your room, or are you waiting for the others downstairs?
Well, I will go up to my room to get ready.
You taking a standard room or the honeymoon suite?
I guess I'll take the other fancy room for the evening.
The honeymoon suite is very similar to the royal suite. It's on the same floor. It has a matching view of this ominous dark lake. It does, however, also have some nice floral decorations around the top of the bed head, and that's about it.
I do have some experience with natural world, so could I make that roll by chance?
Yeah, if you look out the window, there's the last light of the setting sun illuminates this dark black lake.
I know a lot about the natural world, apparently.
Yes, you know, based on even in this dim light, you can tell, looking at the shape of this lake, this actually appears to be some sort of impact crater that has flooded. You've read about them in books. Looks like something very large once hit the ground here. And since the waters have flowed in to flood this lake, it doesn't seem to be joined to any of the surrounding rivers. It seems to be its own independent body of water. It's not being fed. It's being fed by water runoff from the local ground, but it doesn't appear to feed into the Severn River, what you can see from this angle.
And I've not heard anything about impacts in the area or anything in any brochures for this region.
No. As I said, there are many old stories of this region, old legends. Off the top of your head, you can't recall any of things falling from the sky. But whatever this was, judging by the growth around it and the trees and the other surrounding landscape features, this happened a very, very long time ago. If there was an impact here, you're talking prehistoric.
He will make a note of that in one of his journals, but other than that, he will refresh himself and then go and wait for the others to arrive.
Yeah, it's about this time that the other three of you arrive at the Lakeside Public House and Hotel. To find the hotel owner, they're waiting for you. Good evening, sirs. Let me take your bags.
Evening.
Your rooms have been paid for. All is well. All is arranged.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Here you go. You've got our three finest Lakeview rooms. Well, apart from the suites, but they're taken. Would you like me to help you take your bags up?
I can manage, thanks.
I'm good.
We'll manage it. Thank you for your help, your offer. But
Up the main stairs, then left, right, and straight on.
Okay.
Your fellows there up on the floor above, they haven't come down yet, so I presume they're still up there.
What rooms are they in?
One of them is in the royal suite and the other's in the honeymoon suite.
Oh, is that what it says on the door? Just so we don't knock on.
Oh yeah, that's what it says on the doors. I've only got one of the guests in, and they're over in the tower room.
Okay. Thank you.
Up on the 4th floor.
oh, thank you. And I think we'll probably grab our bags and head to our rooms.
Okay. You head on up to your rooms. Is there anything anyone wants to do in their rooms alone before convening as a group once more to seek dinner and information?
Well, since we're not in the high classrooms, what do we find when we come in?
Ah, yes. Your rooms, they're not bad. They are a little shabby. They're perhaps less dusty than the suites. They have been used a little more often. They each contains a bed, a wardrobe, a dressing table. All three of them would share a bathroom. It is indoors. Price of luxury, yeah.
Yes.
Which has a toilet and a bathtub. They all offer a very similar view of the lake, so it's hard to make it out clearly now the sun has gone down. You just see this vague hint of black water off in the distance. You can't make out any of the details clearly. You could hear the floorboards above you creaking as someone moves around in the room above.
I would check the bed for bed bugs.
Make me a spot hidden, please.
There's
You don't
not.
see any bed bugs or any
Perfectly
sign of
fine. Drop myself on it.
I think Mortimer will probably literally just sort out his bags and unpack as such. But he will have a look around the room to see if there's anything hidden or anything left by previous guests.
It doesn't seem that anything's been left behind by previous guests now.
Oh, it's okay. No problem.
And I'll lay my bags out as well, and this as the same. Just look around to get some idea if there's anything unexpected in the room.
Nothing unexpected. There seems to be. It's a little shabby. It's a little worn. It's a little weathered, but otherwise it seems a fairly ordinary hotel.
I think Mortimer will probably check under the bed to make sure there's not some weird runic ritual circle beneath the bed.
There are no weird runic ritual circles beneath the bed.
The one time I don't check, it'll be a serpent person as well.
Well, you didn't check it. It's actually painted on the underside of the bed. That's where you hide your ritual circles. You stitch them into the mattress on the reverse side.
I think pretty much Mortimer's just going to be doing the unpacking, sorting out his guns, deciding what he's taking, what he's leaving, that sort of thing.
And I'll once I lay my bags out, I'll grab the bag of scones and head upstairs.
I'm not even gonna bother to unpack. I'm just gonna leave everything in there and live out of the bag. Easier that way. And you've packed quicker in case of emergency.
That's a very good point. Speaking as a man
He's
with
well-travelled man. How many times has Maximilian had to leave a country in a hurry?
Yeah, so probably head upstairs. Probably all of us will end up at the same time.
Yeah, you can head on and convene in one of the bigger rooms upstairs. Your choice.
Well, whichever one we come to first, we'll probably knock on at.
That would probably be the honeymoon suite.
One of them must be here. Do we want to take guesses who we'll find behind this door?
Well, the honeymoon or the royal suite? I mean...
No, Ignatius is going to take the royal suite.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not me.
It's a sure fig, really. But a knock on the door.
Angela will open the door and... I seen I was just going to go look for you all. I hope you all were able to find your places quickly and...
The rooms seem okay. They're just on the floor below.
I've been sleeping
Alright.
at worse places.
It's true.
The owner is quite kind. I believe Ignatius should be above us.
He's
Hopefully is in a better mood.
the royal suite, I believe.
Yes, he was
Like
quite
to know-
insistent on that.
That's it.
I will admit I am the first to admit my limitations, but have any of you heard anything about the lake outside?
No, it was kind of too dark to see much at this point.
Yeah, we could see there was a lake, but not much more about it. It was too dark to see anything.
Yeah.
Do you know anything interesting about it?
Well, based on kind of the slant of the nearby mountains, it almost appears to be a sort of impact crater. I admit I'm no geologist or anything, but it seems rather odd to not have something like that mentioned on any of the brochures or paperworks.
True. It's the sort of thing I'd expect geologists would have a particular interest in discovering what caused the impact and so on.
Well, if we can go and dive in the middle, we might be able to find a meteorite.
You never know, but maybe another day.
Oops, well,
Wouldn't
shall we
surprise
go
me
and find...
here looking at it, but it's a very unusual town. There seems to be a lot of stories around here. There's a strange high walled building with like watchtowers or something as well, which is a bit unusual. But let's check in on Ignatius and decide what we're going to do next.
Okay, so we're trooping over to Ignatius's room next door. Ignatius, you hear the sound of feet creaking on the floor as they're approaching. It's very hard to sneak up on anyone in this building.
I dramatically open the door and jump out with my cape above.
Ah! The caped man.
Oh,
How are
I
you?
am horrible. I'm trying to put myself in a better mood, but I do not like it here.
Well, here,
Not
I brought
here.
you some scones.
Oh, I hate scones, but thank you for.
I know,
thinking of
but
me
I thought they'd raise your spirits.
by bringing me something that I do not understand your strange librarian-esque ways. But who am I to fight with a mental man such as yourself? I eat a scone. I don't like it here. It feels creepy. Have you seen the lake? The lake is horrible.
Really? I mean, it was a bit late for us to see it, but maybe we'll see it tomorrow.
I caught a look of it just as the sun was. It filled me with dread.
Well, it does seem a very unusual town. There seems to be quite a few stories and superstitions about it, but we could probably go find somewhere to eat and drink and decide what we're going to do in the morning.
I want you all to know I brought 12 decks of cards with me, so my trick of getting out of combat with them is really all I have to offer in a fight.
Everything helps. I've brought a few extra guns.
Have we sorted dinner yet?
We can't eat here. This place is dirty, and I asked the man who owns this place like where he eats, and he was like, I eat here. I was like, well, that's not gonna work. And I asked like for another recommendation. Then he said something about his sister, and he might be a cannibal. I don't know. Might be cheap. I don't know. Anyway, we should go somewhere quickly. Maximilian, do you have any thoughts on what we should eat? You're a hardened adventurer.
No, it's fine. We'll find something in town. Town is big enough. We've gone past plenty of potential things. Even we can go to the bakery and just get a couple loaves of bread, and go to the butcher's and then have like a little bit of a lunch day. We'll be fine.
I'm sure there's plenty of pubs in this town. We could wander along and see one that looks good and looks clean and tidy, and I say tidy. I mean,
We've been in a pub.
exactly. But we could probably grab breakfast here in the morning, decide whether we eat it or not. But yeah, we could just have a wander, see what the local talent's like in the bars, and grab something nice to eat. Hopefully, well, something to eat.
What is our approach to finding I say this very quietly, the maze? Do we have a strategy?
There are a number of places we could check. The library will be a good place to find information. Post office, potentially. Town hall. And there's a strange high-walled area just north of the town, which is a bit strange. But I think the library, post office and town hall, we might be able to find out some information, but we'll probably have to wait till the morning. The library might have maps, potentially, of the town. Who knows? We might have old maps. We might be able to find something out. But if we start talking to people in any of those places, or even the pub, we might find out stories about a maze. Who knows?
I'd like to go and take a closer look at the lake. If somebody wants to come with me.
I'll go with you.
Let's go look.
You know, just so we get a little bit. Maybe something impacted it that wasn't the normal thing, the normal way these things. You know, just for like an
I think that the maze is underneath the lake.
potentially.
That's my when this maze is going to be an evil, awful, horrible place filled with eldritch horrors and esoteric death, and that lake.
That's quite the wonder, though. Are you up for that?
Yeah, I rested. I'm mostly sober. I can't be totally sober, or other thing goes awry. But I'm mostly sober, so I'm in peak condition.
It'll help with the pain. Just don't puke everywhere.
That
this maze is
point.
beneath this lake. How do you all suppose we get to it?
On
Very
foot.
carefully.
Oh, I think the entrance is beneath an inn, so and we do need something to eat and drink this evening anyway, so do you want to grab something to eat and drink first, then investigate it, or did you want to
I like the idea of the pub and listening for information and then going on out.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
Should we just go as a group?
Yes.
Ourselves across as?
I don't want to split up very much.
We're on a pretty bad time limit, though.
Well, D'Angelo is a well-known author. Maximilian could be put across as a famous adventurer of sorts, and the rest of us are their companions. Who knows? We can put it we'll come up with some story, I'm sure.
Okay, so you're heading out to try and find something to eat in the town, as night has fallen over Brichester. And I think this may be a point to go for a 10-minute break, and for me to get another cup of tea. I'll see you back here in just a moment, when I found the mid-roll. I'll see you back here in just a moment. And we are back. So our investigators are in Brichester, in search of a horrible maze lurking somewhere underground near the town, and they're heading out to get a spot of dinner. As you pass by the hotel owner at the Lakeview Hotel, he calls out to you from behind the desk. Will you be wanting breakfast?
Definitely a good idea.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
And then, you head out into the town. From the hotel, you can see there's a road that heads straight back down into the centre of town, the direction you came from. The first part of it is not lit, but a little further on you can see there are, what is it at that time? Rapidly growing old-fashioned gas lamps, as electric lighting is starting to take off in some areas. But not here. Lighting the very centre of the town. Another road leads more down, winding towards the lake shore. That one is in utter darkness. There's no lighting on that road. And a third road winds northwards, off into the countryside and towards the rocky black shape of the Devil's Steps.
Shall we head into town and see what pubs they have?
Yeah.
They might have their own local beers.
Heading down into town, the shops are all shut up for the night. But there are lights in a couple of the local public houses. You can hear quite rowdy voices from a place called the Dog's Head. You can see lights on at the Horned Man, and a little further towards the centre of town, probably actually pretty much on the town square itself, the Devil's Steps. There are probably other pubs down side streets if any of those three do not suffice your needs.
Let's just start with the Horned Man, right? That probably does not sound like it might be problematic.
No, not at all. What's in a name?
Sounds a familiar name.
So the Horned Man is on the just off the main square of the town, just probably tucked behind the library and university of Rochester.
Yes.
It's a brick-built building with a painted sign depicting a robed figure with a pair of antlers emerging from his head, sort of stepping out of like a lot of overgrown undergrowth.
Would I require a mythos roll, or could I guess?
It resembles pictures and imagery you've seen surrounding the Horned Lord, the Horned Man of the Woods.
That's all.
Very the same sort of imagery you saw in the book, the book about Goatswood.
Oh, yeah.
That went astray not too long ago. Very familiar imagery.
This could be an interesting place to start with.
So, yeah, stepping inside. If you like stepping inside.
Yes.
The main bar room has probably half a dozen or so locals drinking. You can see off to one side there is a side room where there are a couple of tables. You see there's a group of people eating at one table, and off to the other side you can see what appears to be a small, like, snug, a couple of gentlemen smoking. There are no women in here. This is a public house, not the sort of place that a decent woman would be seen.
Of course.
What do the meals look like? I mean, are they...
It looks to be meat and potatoes by the look of it. Nothing particularly fancy. There's a barman behind the bar, and as you enter, everybody stops what they're doing and turns to look at the five of you.
Good evening.
Just walk over to the bar.
Evening.
Good evening. Any chance to grab some food and drinks here?
You can do your food, yeah, and drinks. You can take a seat.
Oh,
Drinks.
thank you.
Beer? You haven't got any fancy city stuff here.
Beer's fine.
That's fine.
Bitter? Mild?
Whatever you recommend.
Alright. 5 pints of bitter.
While they're talking, looking around, is there anything that would strike me as unusual about the inside? Anything particularly occulty about the inside of the room?
I mean, looking around, you can see it's got a fairly cluttered air of a public house. The walls have been decorated with a mixture of hanging pewter tankards. There was a horseshoe nailed above the bar. There are some framed pictures on the walls, mostly faded photographs, a couple of framed newspaper articles, one that appears to be from the Rochester Gazette, claiming the Horned Man to be the finest drinking establishment in town. There is like a wood-cut print of essentially the same image that it's on the pub sign, this antlered man stepping out from the leaves. So this one seems to be a subsection of a larger image. The larger image also shows a group of people bowing down before him. He steps out from the leaves. Another woodcut print depicts a group of people dancing around what appears to be a bonfire. Both of these are framed on the wall. The clientele mostly appear to be sort of, well, some farmers, labourers, shop workers. It's not a very fancy establishment, but
all locals.
Not completely grotty. It seems reasonably well kept.
Can I do an occult roll?
What for?
Well, it's so there's a sneaking suspicion that Ignatius has that since everything here is so dark and gloomy and there's this creepy lake and all this occultish things, like do they worship these things like for their own benefit? Like just is it just something that like it's sort of happened in this town and now it's a tradition? Like it feels really off to him and he's trying to make sense of it.
I mean, you can make me a psychology roll if you like, if you're trying to get the vibe of the place. Occult is, if you make me a cult roll if you're trying to draw on, do you know anything about the Severn Valley from beforehand, other than what D'Angelo or Mortimer have told you about the local area?
Yeah, the occult would probably be more what I'm shooting for.
I'm just gonna go and ask the barkeep.
I'm not gonna.
You know what D'Angelo and Mortimer have mentioned before about what they know about the area from either books or from Agnes. Maximilian, you said you're going to talk to the barkeep. Yeah,
I'm just gonna go empty my beer in like one drop and go up to the barkeep again.
Another?
Yeah, another. I couldn't help but notice all those images around. Is that the hot man your tavern's named after?
Yeah. It's a tradition. Yeah.
Huh? I see.
One of their old gods of the woods. They're all into over that way. Strange folk that goes wood a lot. Very odd people. Nothing like us normal townsfolk. Don't like outsiders very much. You get the idea you're not welcome there whenever you get off the train. Them and their strange moonlands and strange, odd place, strange people. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw a couple of my the cults that I've seen. I mean, like native stuff that I've seen around the world. And I'll try to pull out what he knows about that that haunt man.
Well,
could be something, right?
Yeah. Give me a charm or persuade on sort of winning over this man a bit more, seeing because he's willing to talk, but how much he's willing to say depends very much on how you come across.
Let's try the persuade. It's not long.
Oh, well, they've got all sorts. You don't know half of what to believe. They say they go into the woods and carry out rituals. So full of witches, that place. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
My old man used to say. But,
Church is not going to like it, but...
Well... Local vicar has his work cut out here anyway. There's many people got their own way of seeing things around these parts. Never really, I say the church never really fully caught on there.
Yeah, well, they tried a long time, didn't they? I mean...
Yeah, they tried, but some customs are hard to shift around here. When people have seen the evidence with their own eyes, it's hard to move by.
They've seen evidence with their own eyes?
People are goats wood, they ain't right, they're strange. Their fruits grow strange and the sheep are strange. And happens all the way around at Cambridge and Clotton. Animals coming out, two-headed lambs. Ones with 6 legs, all sorts of strange stuff. And then there's the lake, and those local folk go near that place.
What's with the lake? I mean, we intended to go there and look for, like, or like a bit of game or something, but
I wouldn't eat any fish out of that lake.
I mean, we don't have any fishing gear anyway, so we're probably fine then.
And don't stray too close to the edge. They say you fall in, and well, no one ever sees you again. I suppose that happens in any body of water, really. You can might as well fall in the River Severn, and you're never going to see you again. So yeah.
I mean, in a falling in a river and never getting seen again is probably because you ended up drowning and going somewhere down the river. But in a lake, I mean, usually water's still there, isn't
They
it?
say it's bottomless.
Wow.
Other people say there's something lurking at the bottom. So either one of those things is true and the other's not. I ain't quite sure. Oh, there you go. There's your pint.
Thank you. I'll give him a nod and go back to my table.
Maximilian, you look like you had a hell of a chat with him. Did you learn anything?
I'm not sure if I did. The lake's supposed to be dangerous, so
I believe it. I believe it.
people saying that it's, endless deep.
I don't believe that.
Or that there's something lurking at the bottom.
I believe that. That'd be the one that I believe. Like a maze, like a sentient maze. It's gonna eat all of us.
I mean, if it's endless deep, that could be the reason. The maze could be the reason for it being.
Could be an interesting place to fish.
Yeah, I was told to not eat anything with fish in there, but
the amount of places in this area where we cannot eat is staggering. We've been to 3 places where you can eat. Can't eat out of 2 of them.
Well, I think what we may have to do is this place seems more for local people or people from Goatswood who are visiting. We may have to try and find a lively pub where people
yes.
talk.
Yes, I have an idea. You just put an idea into my head.
Dogs lively.
It might get me punched in the face, though. So that's why I'm asking instead of doing.
Well, at least you got a doctor here to patch you up.
Yeah, you did a horrible job the last 3 weeks. So I don't really, I'm not going to lie to you. You cut me. I don't know how you cut me with bandages, but you fucking did. Anyway, so you know how like I do that thing where like I stand up and I get everybody to look at me, and like sometimes I get them to like engage with me and it goes well, and other times I get them to engage with me and it goes very poorly. And I have to like run. Well, I'm not very fast, and I'm especially not very fast right now. But there is a chance I could get everybody to look at me and draw them in and try to get like crowd participation to learn more information of the area. This might work better or worse at a lively pub, but the more people there are, the greater chance of me getting whooped. So it's a give and take.
You can always try.
You must be feeling better, Ignatius.
No, I'm powering through this. I feel horrible. I don't feel good. I feel like I've doomed all of you. I don't like anything about myself. The lake creeps me out. I don't like anything that is happening right now, and there's no rich old spinsters here or widowers here. Who am I kidding? I stand up, I jump up on the table. Ladies and just gentlemen, I am Ignatius Shimmerrath, also known as Ignatius Emberrath. Lend me thy ears. And I'm trying to draw everybody in and get them to like me, just superficially.
Make me a charm roll with a what's the word I'm after? Penalty die.
I'm looking for the straightest path to the exits.
You're not being thrown out of the pub. People are turning to look at you. They are lending you their ears. Apart from the barman who's busy dishing out food for you. Did you ask for food?
I mean, watching Blanca making a fool of himself, obviously.
I come here seeking information, your greatest stories, your greatest tales of this area, and we come to this place amongst you all great people, for you are the wisest, those who have truly lived here. please, do you know of? And I go on like I'm looking around, like the story of this, the story of that, and halfway through it, like I work in like mayhaps there be a contraption, a great entity, or a great structure that might contain travelers or adventurers, and kind of let that linger for a moment, and then go back to asking questions. I'm just trying to like basically find a way to like
Contraption. It's like a big thing.
yeah, machine or a maze area, a structure.
What are you looking for? A structure, or a maze, or a building? What? I mean, it contains people. What? I think he's talking
Sure.
about a prison up on the hill. That contains people.
I heard a great story of this area's maze. A great maze that existed here.
Why
And as I
would we
asked
let
that-
him do
It's
this
a
again?
story. I've heard that story. I've heard that story. My mum always used to tell it to me.
Who here can tell the best story?
She
Tell us
threatened
the
me to
story
throw me
the
to the
best.
monster in the maze if I didn't behave myself.
Tell me, how does the story go? And as I ask that question, and I ask like who can tell the best story, I do pour some coin. I pull some coins out of my pocket, and it's not just like beer money. It's not like big dollars, but like I would be straining my credit rating a little bit to do so. Tell me about this maze, please. Come to our table.
Give me a credit rating roll. See if you can convince a truly convincing amount of money.
So we never established what my credit rating was, but it was enough to have like a decent amount of money. It's kind of what we came up
Have I let
with.
you get away with not having a credit rating on your sheet the entire time? I am a terrible excuse for a keeper.
It was. I take
Talking really
accountability.
fast.
Well, we'll leave it at the end of the session. Remind me to sort out what your credit rating is, because I've got to dig out the table.
I believe it was
I remember.
5,000. Yes.
It's a number between 0 and 100.
I know.
not
That's
5,000.
it's definitely 5,000. I'm impressive. So I'm just looking for anything. I'm just I'm trying to
There's a little muttering. You catch a couple of. Who is this Joker? I don't know, outsider.
Ignatius Emberath.
I mean, we all know the story of the maze, but it's just a story. I heard
Tell
it's
it to
under
me,
where they
please.
built the prison now. That's what they said. Used to be a traveller's coach house up on the hill. Knocked it down when they built the prison. My mum always said that the maze was beneath the coach house. That there was a secret door hidden there. But
What about
they
the
built the
maze
prison.
itself? Is it filled with dangers, treasure, minotaurs, rich
monster.
widowers? A
that's
monster.
as the stories go. There was a man who built the maze, went mad, turned into a monster, and is still trapped down there. Walking around in circles all eternity.
Has
I know
anyone
there's
ever
treasure
gone
in
there?
it. Yeah. There's supposed to be
Anyone ever-
treasure down there.
Has anyone ever gone there and come out?
Madman Sutton claims he went down there, but
Oh, where can we go to talk to him?
usually drinks down at the Dog's Head, down towards the lake sort of direction.
Okay, I am
He's-
going to.
He's not in his right mind.
Well, who amongst us is? Thank you. I buy 2 rounds with the money, like toss whatever, like the whatever else I had, like that was left over, since we don't do change. And I say, boys, eat up, drink up, and then I just pound beer, most impressively.
Okay.
Scarf down whatever food I have, and then I go, which way is the Dog's Head, please?
You went past it on your way down from the hotel. He points. As in, you've already been past the Dog's Head. You went past it earlier.
Thank you. And then I take off. Like I run like.
But he'll also give you directions, but you have already seen it.
Nope. I just take off. My cape's fluttering.
Okay,
I'm
so
running.
are you stopping to eat your dinner?
I destroyed my dinner most
You
masterfully.
all have a lovely meal of lumpy mashed potatoes, slightly burnt lamb chops, and some overcooked carrots.
As God intended.
Sounds great.
That's the gods' intent. Yeah, so Ignatius is herring off. Are the rest of you herring off afterwards? Or
Yeah, I think Mortimer will apologise to the barkeep. I'm really sorry, my friend. He's not well at the moment.
Well, it's brought us entertainment for the evening.
I suppose.
And he can't hold his liquor.
Exactly, one drink, and that's it. He thinks he's the world's greatest magician. Instigates. But anyway, thanks for the time. The food was great.
Yes,
Wait.
we settle up with him.
Somebody gonna run after him?
Yeah, we know where he's heading. We'll catch up. I mean, he can't run that quickly.
Fair. I'm gonna drink my
So,
beer.
Go after him.
So Ignatius is going to reach the dog's head before the others, but you're not too far behind. It is, as you saw on the way down, there is light in the windows, but it's a smaller looking establishment than the Horned Man, and essentially appears to be made up of one tap room downstairs, with probably about 6 people drinking, and a woman behind the bar at this one. Very stern-faced, matronly looking woman. Like she looks like if anyone started any shit in her pub, she could probably handle it herself.
Her name is Augustine.
Arms built up from pulling pints all day.
Yeah. The others is a couple of men playing dominoes. A couple just drinking in silence at the bar. Somehow you didn't think this was possible, but it seems even less welcoming to outsiders than the Horned Man.
I'm gonna.
Strange looks as we come in.
As Ignatius enters,
Oh, Ignatius.
everyone turns to stare, and the man nearest the door goes, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh, I'm gonna try to be incredibly charming. My name is Ignatius, and I am here to take in the sights and enjoy this lovely city that you have. And I was coming to have a drink, and I extend my hand.
He doesn't shake it.
Can I make a charm roll?
Yes, with a penalty die.
Very good.
Begrudgingly, he shakes your hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
We'll see.
That's fair. I
Turns back to his drink.
Could I buy you a drink? Camaraderie.
We already got one.
Another?
All right. Yeah.
What are you drinking? Like, is it like the bitter or?
I'll have a porter.
I go up very politely to the barkeep and wait for them to address me.
Go on. What do you want?
2 porters, one for me and one for the good fellow.
All right.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Ignatius.
Molly.
Nice to meet you, Molly. Molly, might I ask you a question if it wouldn't be too much of a problem?
Sure.
So I and my friends, and I'm sure they'll rock up soon. We're very well behaved. We're not here to cause problems or anything. But we are, well, we like stories and folklore and things of that nature. And we just heard a story about a maze in the prison, and we were told to talk to somebody. I think his name was Sutton.
Madman Sutton. Hey,
Yeah.
Madman. This one's here for you. And she points over to an old man with a long, scraggly beard who sat in the corner.
What's he drink? Molly?
Gin mostly, but we try not to give him too much of it.
Can I get him a little bit of gin, and I pay for that too. Thank you, Molly.
And it's about this time that the others catch up with Ignatius.
When they roll in, I'm going over to Madman Sutton and I'm motioning for them to come to me directly.
I'll gesture towards the bar. I'm just going to get a drink first. I mean, it'd be rude not to.
Yep.
What would you recommend, barkeep?
Bitter, mild, but there's just beer. What do you drink?
No silence.
Oh, there's gin. I've got a bottle of gin.
I think I'll just have a bitter, please. This place came highly recommended to us. We were told you do amazing pies.
I'll do pies, yeah. I've got a meat one and a fish one.
Where does the fish come from?
The lake.
Let's take the meat one.
Where does the meat come from?
The lake.
Animals.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'm sorry about my friend over there, and I'll point towards Ignatius, who's already moved off to the
It's been no
Madman.
problem. He was just looking for Madman Sutton.
Yeah, he's not well at the moment. We're trying to keep him well.
Look, I don't care what people's business is. As long as they pay for their drinks and don't start fights. You're not going to start a fight?
No. If you had a preference, which one would you rather? Paying for the drinks or fight?
I'd rather someone pay for a drink than start a fight. And
Okay, we can work with that.
without paying.
Yeah. So after I've paid for my pint, I'll head towards Ignatius and see what he's up to.
And start a fight.
Nope. I'm just talking with. I'm trying to talk with
Yeah, you see,
Mr. Sutton.
he's hunched over in the corner. He looks up as you approach.
Mr. Sutton, do you
He
have a
sent
moment, please? Oh, I
Did they
was.
send you?
No one sent me. Here, would you like some gin? Trying to be polite. My name is Ignatius Imberath. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I charm roll him?
Give me a charm roll, see if you can win him over. You've still got the not from being round here penalty.
Oh, okay. Let me re-roll that then. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm just so likable.
Yeah, you are. He seems to relax a little. He sees something in you that he recognizes in himself. He sees, actually maybe here is someone who can understand me.
So, Mr. Sutton, I am big on stories and legends and folklore, and that's why I'm here visiting this nice place. And I was asking, I'd heard a story about a maze, and your name had come up because you had been there.
Oh yeah, I've been in the maze. I can tell you that story. Are these your friends? Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair.
Yeah, these are my friends. Now you won't mind if I take notes, right? Like I am an enthusiast.
Oh, another, yeah. Yeah, people come through. They ask me my story.
Yeah. Okay. So I pull out, paper and all of that, and then I just go, start from the beginning, please.
Well, it happened a long time ago. Back when I was young. It's because I'd always known stories of the maze. Everyone knows stories of the maze, bricked up and sealed away. But this gent came from London, I think, or Bristol, or some other such big place, and he wanted to see it. He wanted to go down into the basement, the old inn. It's not there anymore. Coaching Inn. And so I took him down. We went down the steps into the cellars, and down some more, and down some more, until we came to this brick wall, bricked up. Don't know when, or by whom, but we smashed through it. Beyond that, there a passage. A long, dark, big passage. And with every step we took down it, I could feel something weren't right. Something was watching us. At the end there was a door. And then after that, well, I don't rightly remember the details after that. It was dark. And the fella I was with, he ran off screaming. And all I can remember is running and hiding in the dark and there being something. It getting closer and closer, ever closer. You could hear its steps behind you in the dark. And I ran. And whichever way I ran seemed to be dead ends. And there was no way out. And then I was back where I started, back at the door. And I did the only thing I could. I ran out, slammed that door shut behind me, and left it out of there.
Do you know what happened to do you know what the guy's name was?
Oh, yeah. Never gonna forget that. Postlethwaite.
What a horrible name. Did he make it out? Did you ever see him again?
Yeah, he made it out. Didn't stick around in town long. Must have gone back. Well,
do you
he
believe
was
in the
ranting
legend?
and raving at that point, so.
Do you believe the legend that there was the person who made the maze was down there?
Maybe.
Walking around
maybe
forever?
not. All I know is there's something down there. What it was and how it's made, I don't know, but there's something down there, that's for sure. I was glad when they knocked the place down. But
Do you think you could take me there? You wouldn't have to go in.
I could take you to where it was, but I said it's not. In itself, it's not there anymore.
Well, but did they build over? Like, surely there'd be a place to get into the chambers. But,
As I said, they built the prison over it.
I see we're talking in circles. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would want me to know? Take a moment to reflect.
Don't go down there. Why would you want to find this place?
Has anyone else ever asked about this and not came back?
Oh, every couple of years someone comes and asks about it.
Keep
I
it.
don't know if they go down there, or I don't know if they just leave. But
can I do a psychology roll just to check on the guy's mental status and get an idea what he's telling us is the truth?
Yeah, go for it.
Just a general read on him. Nope, that's a fumble.
Can I do the same thing?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just thinking what I get from a fumbled psychology roll.
Yeah,
Whether I think he's telling the truth, whether he's lying, whether he's
I think
saying
you fumble it. It's like, you're being a little too intense and weird. Is he telling a story? Like, you're leaning closer and closer, sort of staring into his eyes as he's, like, recounting this. Leaning across the table in a truly quite an unnerving way. As he sort of... D'Angelo, you see as he sort of shuffles back away from Mortimer.
As if just
Stop
staring
being
at him.
weird.
He doesn't seem mad. He's a little eccentric and odd in his behaviour, but he seems lucid.
The same as I am.
His story seems no more insane than things you've encountered. And D'Angelo, you'd say he probably seems saner than most of your companions.
Davenport, please. We are
Oh, yeah, sorry.
in public.
I just zoned off there.
We thank you for your time and sharing your story with us. It is unfortunate that you encountered odd things, but I do hope you find your peace for the rest of the evening. I believe we are finished. We can let this gentleman get back to the rest of his evening and night.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Sutton. I hope you enjoyed your gin. I go to shake his hand again, being the respectable. This is like prim and proper Ignatius. Like, it's a strain for him to do it, but he can be quite charming and cordial.
Mr. Sutton will shake your hand, yeah. He seems quite amenable towards you, actually.
As he extends his hands, I'm trying to spot hidden to look at anything strange about him.
He is an old man.
Okay. All right. I'm going to quietly say to the group, I did smooth things over, and they are amenable to us as outsiders, but it's probably best that we say thank you and leave quickly, not overstay our welcome. And that's coming from me.
I believe we should just leave. Unless you all have other things you wish to do. Yeah.
Nope.
I think we've got an idea where we want to end up, but we'll have to have a look in the morning for further information on the technicalities. But what sort of time is it keeping now? Early evening or?
By now, I mean, we're talking coming up at 9 o'clock in the evening. Been back and forth a few times.
I fancy trying a couple of the other bars, just maybe a drink in each, and being a bit sociable and finding what we can about the information, and perhaps seeing if we can appear less as outsiders. But I know that's going to be impossible. Before we call it a night, I mean, it's still early, and I don't think we've overdone it.
Yeah, we've got to spread our money around a bit, and then they'll like us more.
Well, we might meet some interesting people or new faces.
Hey, so the plan is
Perhaps
just
we
to
should not.
go out, spread out, drink in some bars, and try and make some
Mingle a
friends.
bit, yeah.
Okay.
Would you allow me to make a general charm roll to see
I was
how...
going to ask
a general
anyone
one
who
to
wants
see-
to do this, make me a general charm roll to see, with a penalty die, because of
Sorry, that's a fail
outsiders,
anyway.
to see how you're coming across with the locals.
Ooh, 2
See
fails
if
there. from-
anyone seems to be.
Oh no. Oh no.
So,
I did it.
Mortimer doesn't seem to be winning them over that much.
No.
Maximilian, it actually seems to be getting on reasonably well. He's blending in a little more. But Ignatius and John have both fumbled their attempts to charm the locals. So,
Get in a fight.
Could I handle the fumble?
pardon?
Could I handle the fumble? Because I assure you, I can make it a fumble.
I was going to say, how do the two of you want to have fumbled this separately, or is this a joint effort
This
of
is-
making a very bad impression?
John, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling that, I got to support you in any way I can.
Very good. So let me paint the scene. I'm talking with a barkeep. It's going well at first. I ask him an innocuous question about the woods, just making conversation, and he probably says something like, "Oh yeah, there's good deer hunting," and or something like that. And I'm like, "Really? That's a shock, because I heard that all the wildlife around here is anything that's close to the lake is awful. And by the looks of you fucking unhealthy people, it's easy to believe."
Yeah, that doesn't go down well.
No.
As people turn around. John, how do you make the situation even worse?
Oh, God. I'm not sure how I can.
And you see a couple of locals venting like, I might have misheard you there.
You absolutely didn't. And if you want to try anything bad, you can fight my battle librarian. He'll fucking make quick work of you. John, get him.
You see one of them turn towards John. Like,
And
you're a fighter.
He's the fighter. Let me tell you something. You know your dad? Your dad was a bitch, and John would fold
my
him.
God.
A fist comes swinging towards Ignatius's face. Do you want to try and dodge this?
I try to duck behind John.
Give me a dodge roll. Give me a dodge roll. If you succeed in this, you're ducking behind John.
I failed.
You failed, but luckily your attacker is a little bit too drunk. He kind of whips his punch and stumbles and hits the floor, and
You see
chaos
that?
erupts.
See why he fell? John tapped his jaw so quick,
You-
blink of an eye.
Are thrown out of the pub onto the street. The
I've been-
door
as I go-
slammed very
As I go
firmly in
flying
your
out of the
face.
air, I've yelled, "I've been thrown out of nicer places than this."
Oh, my God. Oh, that went well.
Oh, John, I can't. You moved so quickly. He was about to knock me out, and he just gave him the old 1-2 real quick, and got him off balance.
Yeah, you should have been watching. It was amazing.
It was blinding speed.
Oh, God. I hope it doesn't go this well everywhere we go.
God, John, how did you become a master librarian and a great boxer?
You read a lot of books.
The manuals of technical fighting must have really stuck with you. Oh, well, tonight's been an amazing success. I'm going to go to bed, and I just start off towards the hotel.
Let's make sure they don't see where we go.
John, you'll for their safety, of course.
Of course.
And as a pair stumble back to bed, and as I said, Maximilian has made a little bit of rapport with the locals, but not bosom friends just yet.
I'll try to, calm the rest down once the other two are kicked out the door, and I'll buy a round to, get the dust to settle a little.
I mean, if you were in the same pub as them at the time, then that rapport is possibly rapidly decreasing. But yeah, as everyone heads back to the hotel, I think that is where we draw the 16th of October to a close and pick up the morning after over a breakfast of sausages, fried eggs, bacon, and heaps of toast in the dining room of the Lakeside Hotel.
Does it look safe to eat?
It actually looks really delicious.
I'm spot hidden. I'm looking for hairs because I don't trust
Okay,
it.
give me a spot hidden.
Success.
There are no hairs. This looks perfectly fine food.
I'm gonna destroy it. I'm just gonna go to town.
It is delicious.
Does it help with my slight hangover? Ever so slight hangover?
Of course it does. This is
okay. As I'm eating it, I go, I apologize for my
breakfast.
I apologize for my behavior.
Did everyone have a good evening?
Yes.
Everyone ended up. But,
John beat up two people at once, and them so fast that they could barely see it. He protected me.
I have to, I mean, he's not in good health. So hopefully we don't run into him later today.
Hopefully they don't run into you in that big fist of yours today. Their skull could not take such great power.
So I think by the sound of things, this maze is beneath the prison.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Of course this challenge would be easy.
So we're going to break into prison now?
Not necessarily. I mean, we can have a look around the town, the library and things like that, see if there's information about maps or hidden entrances, that sort of thing, and maybe caves or something that lead under it. I mean, we could even simply just go up to the prison, bribe whoever runs it, and ask for a tour of the prison. I mean, in London, you can go for tours and stuff of the asylums and the like.
Well, we almost got a up and close personal tour of the prison after our escapade last night.
You never know. We could even head there with the view of, you should behave or you'll be locked up here.
I am a bit concerned that our group may be not appreciated in its current form. Perhaps we should consider separating ourselves.
No, absolutely not. No. First off, most of the places like us. Like, we went to several pubs, we were well liked. There's just one little teensy altercation, which, given my track record, is actually quite good. But we need to stay together.
Well, we have a lot of places to check out, so we can split up and visit all the different places at the same time, then reconvene afterwards with the information we've gathered.
But we're not going to the maze of the prison.
Oh, we won't go to the prison separately. We'll go when we go there. We'll go as a group, but
okay.
Be able to get the information separately and cover more ground.
Well, who do I go with that's good at keeping... Mr. Williams is very politely saying that he doesn't necessarily trust me to my own devices. So who should I go with to keep me in line?
Well, who knows? Perhaps Mr. Williams himself.
I'm sure he'd be happy to be your chaperone.
Of course, Mr. Ignatius's presence is always a delight.
Always gracious.
I mean, Ignatius, unless you'd rather come with me and sit amongst the books for a bit.
Sometimes I feel so protected in your presence that I say things that I shouldn't, because I know there will be no repercussions.
Oh no, there never will be.
So I think I should go with Mr. Williams and Mr. Johnson.
All right.
No, so it looks
We'll
like
take care of you.
Mr. Johnson. Oh, hang on. How are we splitting up? What are the groups again? It was Mr. Williams, Ignatius, and Mr. Greaves.
I believe it's Maximilian, D'Angelo, and myself, and then you, Doctor, and you, and with John.
Ah, that's okay. As long as we know where we're going.
The librarian people to the library, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to the books we go.
Because I'm gonna break the books, but I'm not gonna get any information out of them, except like the pages.
Okay, so Mortimer and John are going to the library. Where are the rest of you going?
I intended to go to the lake, though we know that we need to be very careful doing that, so maybe we grab some equipment before we do that.
But it is daylight,
Rope.
so
I was thinking the same thing. A trip to the lake would be ideal. And D'Angelo has both his gun and his peace-bound sword with him, as usual.
I bring my decks of cards as my only means of protection, and I eat a little bit more breakfast because I know I'll need the sustenance.
Okay, so you split up one group to the Brichester Library and University, and the other group down the winding path towards the shores of the Dark Lake. I think we will go first with... Let's start with the lakeside group. As the path from the hotel winds its way sloping down out of the town towards this rather circular looking dark lake, which, D'Angelo, as you draw closer, you can see it really does match being this flooded impact crater. Yeah, drawing closer, you can see there are a couple of houses along the very shores of the lake. Little stone houses. Waters are very still, and even in daylight, the water looks dark. It seems to just drink in the light.
Does it have like a beach, or is it immediately like vegetation into water?
It's like there's like a muddy bit of shoreline and there's trees growing up along the shoreline here and there. It's not so much a beach, and more of like a
Mud
and rocks along the edge of it. And as I said, these about 3 or so stone houses built not too far from the water's edge. Based on where the water level sits compared to sort of the trees growing, the water looks to be quite high. Like the trees are just sticking up out of the water around the ones that are closest to the shore. So, I mean, it is October, it has rained fairly recently.
Right, shall we take a quick look around, or should we attempt to introduce ourselves to the locals?
Well, I'd say going and look around, and then maybe go and take a dip.
I think I think that I will be about 10 feet back from wherever you are when we get closer to the lake. Discretion is the better part of valor.
Well, I'm thinking I could go and take a dip in the water, but I'll take a rope with me, just
That's a smart thing.
in case.
Well, let's explore a bit first before we take any drastic actions.
I mean, I could go for a swim, but it's not looking particularly inviting, admittedly.
I don't want you to get into that water. I don't think anybody should get into that water, but I will not stop you as you are brave, strong man.
It'll be fine. But let's just go and walk around the lake. I got the gun with me in case we find something worth shooting.
Okay, so your plan is just to do a circular walk around the shores of the lake.
Yeah, just casual.
Okay,
Nice
so
and safe.
as the three of you set off for a nice walk around the shores of the lake, we go across to John and Mortimer, heading into Rochester Library and University. Heading in, you see entrance hall. It has like a little plaque that signposts the lecture theatres on the upper floor, the library on the ground floor, and it says ring bell for assistance.
Okay. There's no open door to go into the library. It's
There is also a door that just says library on it.
okay.
Doesn't
Well,
seem
do you
to be
think we're-
anyone currently around. You step into
Do you think-
this entrance hall and it's empty.
I think we're in need of assistance.
Should just ring the bell and see what happens.
Okay, so we smartly ring the bell.
You hear a voice calling from through the door that says library, which is just one moment, I'll be with you just a tick. Hang on. And a young man, mid-20s, comes hurrying out. He is in a faded brown suit. He's got a pair of circular spectacles perched on his nose. It seems to be slid down a little too far. He pushes them up as he comes through the door into the front hall. This sort of tousled mop of dark brown hair. So sorry, gentlemen. Wasn't expecting visitors.
Quite all right.
Well, we're visitors from out of town, and we noticed this library, and we thought we'd, we both have an interest in books, and thought we'd come and see what you have and have a wander around.
Oh, Frankie, come in. My name's Alan Tibbet, librarian.
Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
And John Greaves, King's College librarian.
Well, I'm afraid this is no King's College. I can't live up to those glorious expectations.
What you have seems quite nice.
Come through. This is the library. Local history, general history, geography, newspaper archive is over there. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, fiction, of course, and then that leads through onto the upper level. Poetry. It's not big. We've not got everything, but we've
hopefully
got a fair collection.
What we're really looking for is some mostly local information. Do you have anything that you know that about the lake, or not the lake, the maze that's in the area? I mean, I'm trying to doing some research on that, or
Local legends, stories.
Oh, the old
Right.
story about
The inn and that maze.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a book of local legends over in the fiction section. Third shelf along, second up, book with a blue cover. That's fictionalized accounts of local legends written by a fellow who used to live over Goatswood Way. Used to write them up. Let's see what else we got. I mean, there's some theories that supposedly the truth behind the myth was a gentleman back in the 1400s.
Before my
Lord-
time.
Pardon?
Before my time.
Yes.
That's okay. I remember it pretty well. So.
A Lord Risby who had a bit of a reputation in these parts as not the greatest of gentlemen, Let's just say that much. Habit of running off with local men's wives.
Strange that.
Make himself popular with the
Yeah, a lot of gentlemen are not actually gentlemen, strangely enough.
Well, anyway, story is Lord Risby disappeared. Some say that he was the truth behind the story of the wicked man trapped in the maze. I mean, Risby Manor wasn't too far from where the old coach inn used to stand, and there's a lot of like legends connecting that area.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any newspaper articles, because the prison, I'm guessing, how old is that prison now? Because that's built on the site of the old inn.
Prison's been there about 50 years.
So is it likely we'll find any paper articles here relating to it being built?
Yeah, some of the gazettes go back to 50 years ago. Yeah, there's quite contentious in the area.
True. I don't think anyone's having a prison built next door.
No, but well,
they've got to go somewhere. I suppose
they've got to go somewhere.
Is there any specialized sorts of prison? I mean, it just general population or people that are particularly dangerous or crazy, or
well, those that they don't want to hang, or they can't be the worst of the worst.
Slightly off topic, I'm actually a book dealer myself based in London. Are there any books you're after in particular at the moment? Am I interested?
Well, we're after anything we can get our hands on. Unfortunately, our budget is non-existent.
Limited.
So, yes.
And I can always send you some information on anything I have that might interest you. You never know.
Yeah, this whole business was well, about 100 years ago. Local philanthropist had an idea to start a university here in Bridgester. Left his life savings to build it and sustain it, and then they ran out. And thus you see what remains of the Bridgester University and Library. Me. And this building.
You have many people asking about the lake as well. Seems a bit unusual.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, we don't get that many visitors to Bridgester.
It's
rather a dead end at the end of the line. It's not where people come on holiday. And
we do get a few strange looks from locals here.
Yeah, locals. Look, people don't like asking too many questions around here.
True, but the people here are friendlier than they were in Goatswood.
Well, yeah, everywhere's friendlier.
Be true.
But yeah, feel free to peruse our newspaper archive. Take a look around, see if.
Thank you for your
time. If you need any help with anything, I am here. I am not doing anything else other than dusting, so please.
We will. More about this gentleman that you said was the source of the stories.
Oh, Risby, yes. I can find a book. I can find you a book on Risby, yes.
That'd be great. I mean, some of the stories seem a little outlandish. I mean, who would run off with someone else's wife? Or
well, it was. I think it was more in the stories that he was stealing their wives. I'm not sure the wives were really entirely in on it.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a different take on what I thought was going on.
The historical record ends with the manor being burnt to the ground. The burnt-out ruins are still out there. Just if you go up past the prison, there's a patch of woods, and just beyond that, there's the old ruins of the Risby Manor.
Is that Mercy Hill?
Not quite all the way to Mercy Hill. Well, sort of Mercy Hill sort of direction, not all the way to the Devil's Steps.
That might be an interesting place to check out whilst we're in the area. I mean,
I think so too. Yeah,
not a great deal to see here, to be honest. But well, we'll check out all the sites whilst we're in town.
Okay. Well, as I said, let me know.
Okay. Time for us to get stuck into the books, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Let's do that. Have a quick look at the books.
I'm guessing library rolls.
Yes. What is there anything particular you're trying to find here? Any questions you're trying to answer, just so that I can.
Well, now that he's related about this being the manor, whether there's any stories about there might being another entrance into the maze from
That's
the manor.
more or less what I'm thinking is whether there's any schematics of the prison, like blueprints or rumours of entrances beneath it, caves, something like that, some other way to access where the inn was. And just general information on the stories about it all.
Okay. And are you searching the general library or the newspaper archive?
I'll be checking the general library first.
Okay.
Then I might be nosy and see if I can find something in the... To be fair, the local paper won't say a great deal about the prison, other than it's being built. So I think, yeah, the local library. At least for
Okay.
myself.
Both of you give me a library use roll. And as you're searching through the library of the Brichester Library and University, we're going to go over to our lakeside walking group, who are slowly making their way around the Brichester Lake. It's quite a large lake. It's going to take you the better part of the day to circumnavigate this lake.
All right.
It's not too late now to turn back if you don't want to go all the way around this lake for most of the day.
I mean, it's fine, right? We'll look for anything that is suspicious or odd, despite the general vibe that the lake has.
Yeah, there's not many people around. The only person you can see is a short distance away as you're making your way around this lake is a man with a fishing rod. Sat on the bankside, fishing in the lake.
Can I do a spot hidden check, like on the lake itself? I don't care about the guy fishing.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden.
Extreme success.
As you stare out of the lake's surface, swear for a moment you see something moving beneath the water's surface. A ripple of movement, a sense of something lurking, something vast just beneath the surface. You see, and for a moment you see past the dark surface of the water, you see the shadow of something large just under the water, stretching out. One long tendril towards where the old man is fishing. Give me a sanity roll, please.
Okay. As I do the sanity, would the sanity check preclude me from yelling out to the man?
Well, it depends what the result is. You might yell out anyway.
Very good. Oh, sweet God.
Instinctively, you yell out towards the man.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell, "Look out, you fool!
Hmm?
What?
Run!"
He looks around confused. Ignatius, you will lose 3 points of sanity. That was the maximum possible.
Can I see what triggered Ignatius right now?
But the lake is, as you look back, the lake is normal. There's nothing there. And maximally, the lake is just... The old man steps back from the water and he's looking at you like, what? What's going on?
I don't know. He must have seen something.
There is something large just underneath the surface of the lake. I saw it. I stared at it for quite some time.
I mean, bloody fish you've scared away now.
Okay, so I am going to... Ignatius has been trying to be better behaved. He's been really trying. For his standards, he's been doing well. And he turns to D'Angelo, looks D'Angelo dead in the eye, says, "D'Angelo, I need you to escort me away from this old man before I have an incident."
Right. We apologize for disrupting your evening. We shall go in this direction. Come on, Mr. Ignatius.
Okay, once we get a little bit further away, I'm going to look at my two compatriots. I'm going to say, I was studying the lake. I had a serene, focused moment. I saw something massive underneath it. I could barely see it. Once I started seeing it, it was easier to observe. And it had a huge, huge tendril and it was reaching towards that fisherman. It when you see things, you know how sometimes like you it makes an impact on you, not for the best. I I know what I saw and it was real, and if I just sat there and let nothing happen, maybe I would have had better evidence, but that man's life was in danger, and I didn't want him to get hurt.
Looking at the lake, I don't see anything, correct, Keeper? Everything seems normal.
You can't see anything. The lake water is still and dark.
Well, at the moment, I do not see anything unusual. Perhaps it is
It
gone.
was subtle. It was so large and big. When it was moving its tendril underneath the water, it was just this subtle ripple. It was impossibly large and impossibly adroit and dexterous for something that large.
All right. Well, for now, it doesn't seem to be present. If you would like, we can move closer to the water to verify.
No.
All
We
right.
do not need to be closer to the water. We need to be further from the water. We need to not be here anymore. If we come back here, it should be. It's hard to say that when we know that there's something's dangerous and we know that we might be able to help. So I can't even say that. If you want to get closer, let's get close. Let's just be cautious.
What do you think, Mr. Johnson?
Oh, I think we're gonna be fine. We'll take care. We have the rope with us in case. Right?
The rope can't save you from something that big. That thing was bigger than my ego, Maximilian.
Then it wouldn't fit in that lake. And I'm gonna give him a little punch on the shoulder.
Oh! Oh God! You're very strong, and I'm made of sadness and brittle. Oh God!
Sorry.
I won't tell John on you though. He'd sort you out. I can't have that.
All right, so shall we continue forward? Would you like to go closer to the water, or should we return to the others?
I think I'll go a bit closer to the water and try, like, go on my knees, like, grab like a tree or something and try to peer through the water, try to find whatever it was that disturbed Ignatius.
Okay, give me a spot hidden. The water is cold. It is October. It is very cold.
No.
But you can't see anything in it. Not even any fish.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go and dive in that. This water's freezing. Oh well. But still a pretty disturbing loch. Let's just go the rest of the way and then back to base, I guess.
Keeper, can I do
What?
another spot hidden check? Because I'm looking for the same thing.
You can't see it. You still have a sense that it is there, but you can't see it.
Gentlemen, I know it's there.
You know it's there. You know it's there. You can't see it currently. You're very sure it's there.
For a fact, I know that it's there.
Oh, yes.
Based on my knowledge of the mind, does Mr. Gnardi seem all right? Keeper.
I mean, you can make a psychology roll if you like.
It's based on my
I'm not sure the psychology
psychological
roll is qualified for this situation. I mean, he's Ignatius. Perhaps he seems more disturbed than normal. He's not seemed quite alright the entire time since you met up with him to get the train out here. Like, he's clearly troubled by something, and I mean, he's been acting a little oddly for him. He was being polite to people yesterday. That was...
I have been polite. Like, I know when I need to be cordial and whatnot, but I just hate it. But I'm gonna look at D'Angelo and I'm gonna say, because like I imagine I just catch him looking at me. D'Angelo, I know that I am a character. That's the polite way of saying it. But I know what I saw, and you know what we do, and you know what we see. I am telling you, there is a large monster in that lake, and that is completely believable given what we do.
What? D'Angelo is going to remove the peace bonding on his sword just in case. Perhaps we give the water a bit of a wide berth and we continue. Perhaps you will find more information on this mystery.
Okay, so you want to carry on walking around the lake?
If possible, if there are some stones around, D'Angelo will skip a stone across the lake to see if anything happens.
Ooh, give me...
Let's roll.
What's an appropriate roll for stone skipping? Dexterity?
Dexterity. Roll.
Or
I'm
is
not
sleight of
very
hand the
strong,
roll?
man.
I can't remember if sleight of hand exists on here.
No, it does. There's sleight of hand and throw, either one.
Oh,
You want sleight
throw!
of
Of
hand?
course there's throw!
But,
So yeah, throw! Give me a throw roll. Why do... I always forget, more games should have just... What is this
Just
skill?
yeet.
It's just throwing stuff.
We're really
Doesn't
good
need
at
a
skipping stones.
A specific skill. Like, we have... It's, like... The best we can do for investigation is just spotting hidden things, but yes, we have specific rolls for throwing things, jumping over things, and listening. And accountancy.
priorities.
Yeah. Both of you can successfully skip stones across the lake. No horrible monsters come rising out of the surface. The lake is a lake.
Can I do a psychology check to see if my compatriots believe me?
I suppose, yes.
Hit it.
It's hard to
I fail
tell.
on both of them. I fail on both.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, as you continue around the lake, it's going to take you the rest of the day to circle all the way around and get back to town. Meanwhile, over in the library, I believe that was a success and a hard success. So, John, you were looking up about Risby, I believe. You are muted.
Sorry. Yeah, Wisby and his manor.
Yes, you are able to find an account of the life of Risby. A more historical account is casts doubt on some of the more colourful local legends. It does mention that Lord Risby was not a well-liked figure and definitely had a bad reputation, and it is indeed true that his manor was burnt down, and it shows a sketch of the manor and a map showing where the site of the ruins of the manor can be found.
Okay. Is there any mention of anything being built, or the site being repurposed for anything?
The site
or is it
has
just
not been repurposed. The manor is believed by locals to be cursed or unfortunate. The book sort of phrases this in a sort of scathing way of like, oh, locals believe that this is a cursed place. Evil deeds were done here. Now all that stands of the manor is the footprint, the outline, and sort of one sort of gable end wall.
I think you were also looking to see if there's an entrance to the maze from the manor, wasn't it?
right? If I could find any sort of map
Yeah, the
or
book doesn't
drawing
mention
of it.
any maze, but it does mention that the cellars of the manor are mostly still intact, or intact at the time of the writing of the book, although it says that some have been sort of partially buried or filled in.
Okay.
Mortimer, you were looking up about the prison, I believe, and about
Have any caves beneath it, entrances?
stories of caves and entrances. There aren't really any. It's the wrong sort of soil in the area for caves. There is mention that when the prison was built, they did infill several underground storerooms and tunnels related to the inn that had previously stood on the site.
But would those
and
be?
They were capped off, and the ruin of the inn is described as being essentially around where the entrance to the prison now stands.
So the entrances that were capped off, would they be within the prison or accessible from outside?
It doesn't really specify. Essentially, it says that the tunnels were filled, the tunnels and cellars were filled in, and sort of describes this as being around the location of the entrance, like the gatehouse of the prison.
So near the gatehouse, could be inside, could be outside.
What do you get? Hard success.
Basically,
you find there are no maps or blueprints of the actual prison available in the public library.
Of course, there wouldn't be, but
there is an older mention of the inn, and a sketch and a drawing of the inn itself, and there is a mention, just as a side point in the history of the coaching inn, that it's said that there was once a tunnel that connected the inn to the nearby Risby Manor, through which the scheming Lord Risby could smuggle illicit goods
and wives. Yeah, so that's the sort of information it's after. That's cool.
Yeah, you've got the rest of the day to spend either in the library or in the local town before the others return. Is there anything else the two of you would like to do?
Well, we'll probably grab dinner somewhere, I suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got all the time whilst everyone else is still at the lake, skipping stones. We'll grab something to eat, I suspect, in town. And
not at the Dog's Head, though.
Are there any other routes of investigation you would like to carry out, or shall we pick up as the others return to town after their walk?
Is there much of a church in this town?
There is a church, yes.
Because the church would normally stand out. After grabbing something to eat, because we've probably spent maybe the morning there at the library, I'd probably be tempted to visit the church, just curious, because, churches are usually centres of the community, but I suspect in this sort of place it isn't. But
there is a church with a graveyard around it. It looks to be... There's actually more than one church. There's any town of this side, there's, the church to pub ratio is drifting slightly towards the side of pubs, but there still are a lot of churches as well, it being a decent sized town. The largest one is near the centre and looks to have been perhaps perhaps Norman originally in construction.
I'd be tempted to visit, just curiosity as well. It's a nice building to look at, the oldest church in the town after grabbing something to eat.
Yeah,
fairly
small church, graveyard around it. You can spend some time wandering around looking at the church.
Yep, and pretty much see if there's any information about this Lord Risby there, whether this church relates to that time.
Looking around, there are memorial plaques for several Risbys inside the church, very old ones in the older part of the church. There is no sort of tomb or plaque or grave or memorial for this Lord Thomas Risby, the one that the book was talking about. That he does not seem to have been buried within this church's grounds.
Is there a reverend?
But earlier generations of Risbys were.
Yeah, a reverend or somewhere in the church we can just chat to about the local stories?
Yes, yeah. There is an old priest. He doesn't seem to know much about local history. It's not really his area of interest.
I'm guessing he's not from the area.
No, he moved to Rochester about 35 years ago with his wife. He's happy to talk about his hobby for gardening, if you're interested in learning about his petunias.
Well, I'll be sociable. I'll just chit-chat, basically, about how we're outsiders. We noticed the church, such a nice building, we couldn't not visit to have a look around.
Yeah, you can make small talk with the vicar for much of the afternoon until the others return to town.
Unless there's anything John Greaves fancies checking out.
Unless there's anything John wants to look at in particular.
This church, how old does it seem to be?
Based on the archwork and the stonework, it looks to be probably Norman. So...
That's right, you did say that, right?
Yeah.
Are there any crypts?
It does have crypts, yes.
That we'd be allowed to just have a look at?
The crypts are not normally open to the public.
No, not normally, but this is a matter of research that we're doing.
Give me a persuasion roll. Go on.
Okay. Boy, this is going to be good.
Could I actually assist seeing him there as well?
You can have a go as well. He doesn't seem to be convinced by John. He's like, I can't just go showing everyone, like... It's dark down there and it's full of spiders.
That's all good.
You get all your suits all dusty.
If
you want to give me a roll, you can, but if not, we will move ahead to when the group reconvenes.
I think Mortimer had only assisted John, really, rather than actually do it himself as such, so if that would count for anything.
Okay, in which case, after leaving the church, he's not willing to see... Crypts are not open for visitors today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And eventually the others, after a long walk around the lake, your legs are tired, your feet are getting a bit sore. I don't know if any of you brought any decent walking boots on this holiday. Maximilian definitely brought decent walking boots on this holiday. I don't know about D'Angelo and Ignatius, but I can sort of picture by the end of the walk you've got Maximilian like striding, like... In fact, I'd like you each to make me... Give me, I think, what would this be? Strength or Constitution? I think Constitution rolls.
Type.
Yeah, to see how you're doing at the end of the day's walk.
And
you're all doing fine, actually.
I am powered. Like I was really like dragging, like until like when I saw the big creature, and then I am just completely powered and motivated by the frustration I have of not being believed. It's like I'm gonna feel it in the morning, but right now I'm just going through it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pushing through.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
and that breakfast helped.
Yeah. You make it back round the lake, and 3 of you after a day of walking, and 2 of you after a day of reading. You say, would you reconvene back at the hotel?
That makes this common sense. That's a sensible place to meet up.
It does.
Alright, so you gather back up.
Did you all learn anything?
We had a nice day, really. Nice day.
That lake is larger than it looks from afar, but it's been a pleasurable evening.
No,
day.
It was horrible. There's a huge monster in the lake. I saw it. They didn't see it. It was vast and massive, and it had this tendril, and it was able to move beneath the water so gracefully, just with an unnatural dexterity. And I saw its tendril move closer and closer to a fisherman, and his life
saved his life.
Yeah, Mr. Williams and Mr. Johnson are very polite people, but I can tell they don't believe me. But I know what I saw.
Well, we tried to get the monster to react by skipping a couple of stones over its head, but we didn't see it, and it didn't react anymore.
Because I think it jolted away after I yelled. I mean, I yelled. I startled that poor man. I was trying to apologize, but he yelled at me, and that just made me so mad, and I had to have D'Angelo escort me away. So I was going to give him the old magic trick, pocket cards, right in the face.
That's true. You could have done a card trick for him. I might have impressed him. But We found some information in the library about the legend of this maze. It seems tied in with some Lord Risby, Thomas Risby, and he had a manor house. He was quite an unpleasant person, it turned out, abducted people's wives, it turned out, and a lot of strange stories about him, and it ended up his house being burnt down. But there's rumoured that there's extensive hired cellars beneath the house. Some of them have caved in, and there may be a tunnel access to the maze beneath the prison from his old manor house, and we have an idea where the manor house is, so...
I mean, that seems like another day trip.
It does. I think we could probably... I'm not sure how much time we have, but...
Another 6 days, as far as I'm aware.
So we could probably visit the site maybe tomorrow when we've got more time, and we could probably just see if we can find an entrance, not actually go into the maze this time, but depends on how quickly we find it, and make the area safe for us to get in and out of, and then make a proper go of it once we've got our equipment ready.
Yep, I think we could. If that's a dud, we should check out the prison, because the people were like very. You know, when we were in the pub yesterday, I think. They were talking about the prison. I mean, it might be a big old building that could have an entrance.
Yeah,
so I think we are more likely with your lead.
Yeah, I think the coaching was demolished, but all the entrances when the prison was built, there were a number of entrances beneath the place that got capped and sealed up. So there may be access points beneath the gatehouse, more or less, of the prison. But I think the manor's probably the safest bet because, I mean, the thing is, prison guards will have guns, and nobody wants to break into a prison, and they've got a lot of murderers and the like in there who we probably don't want to meet. Or probably even madmen, who knows.
Yeah.
And I don't think having the prison built upon a place with such a, I suppose, evil history is probably not going to be good for the sanity of the people held in the prison continuously, year after year.
No, but the land was cheap.
That's a very good point. And, yes.
And there's no such thing as mysterious things, right? So why would you bother with them?
But at least we have a place to check. We had a visit to one of the churches as well to see if we could find any information. But the people around here aren't very much for the church-going type.
If nothing else, if we find a way into the prison, like if we have to, we can with the five of us, we can pretty much lie ourselves through almost any situation.
How sure are you that this maze exists and that there is indeed a way inside?
100% positive, because the entity, Midnight, and I, we made a wage on it. So if they were to wage on something that doesn't exist, they would lose by default. I just refuse to believe that they would make such a wager.
And
perhaps they win by default?
No, they can't.
That's stupid. No.
This seems unsporting. It has to be. I think in its view, it was bored of Ignatius.
It wants entertainment. It needs to see us struggle.
So
it wants
the game, the challenge, and for it to be fair, it had to be doable. It couldn't give us something that was impossible for us to do. It had to be something that was possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit the context of a fair game.
Unless it is only interested in watching you scramble.
Yes, exactly.
No, it hated watching me scramble. It left me alive because I was the most interesting, and it wants entertainment. It's the closest. It's almost. Oh Lord, I don't want to say anything that might offend it, because I presume it is watching and listening at all times. It
I mean, if it's
wanted
bored, it's gonna
to be
watch.
entertained. Yeah.
And this is the first of the 3 challenges, so I don't think it would want us to fail the very first one because it'd be boring. It wants us.
Off the
But then,
3
Fail at the last one.
challenges.
yeah, there's going to be 2 challenges. This is probably the first and probably the simplest. I think the main problem we had in this was locating it and the entrance. But at least we have somewhere to, I'm not sure this would have been at the end of the day, I'm guessing, Keeper, so...
Yes, the sun has set, the day has reached its end, and if I'm understanding correctly, the plan tomorrow is to go to the ruins of Frisbee Manor,
that's the one.
investigate, see if you can find a way in, with the idea that the prison is a backup as an alternative way in should the ruins fail you.
Or an exit to run for our lives when we're being chased by some weird eldritch...
Or an exit to run for your lives.
Using the prisoners as decoys.
So yes, as you make your plans, time has flown by, and that is where we will draw things to a close for this evening. We will pick up the next day as the plan begins to be put into action.